Hi and welcome. This is Kim Eldridge from New Frontier Books, and I have a super special guest for us today. This is Stacey Canfield from My Image Artist. Stacey is a really dear friend of mine, and she's an acclaimed photographer, author, and personal branding expert. I'm bringing her wisdom to us because a lot of us need author headshots. And we have no clue what to do, right? So not only does Stacey have 30 years of experience with photography, she has experience in front of the camera and behind it as both a model and a photographer. And this was really important to me because she can bring us that entire picture. Plus, Stacey incorporates personalized elements of color, style, posture, and personality. So she really creates photos that capture and communicate who you are to the world. So you don't end up with those cardboard cookie cutter photos that look like everybody else. So thank you so much for joining us, Stacey, and welcome.
Thank you, Kim. I'm so excited to speak to your people. This is a very nuanced style of photography for authors, and so I'm glad I'm here to share some tips and tricks to help the whole experience go real smoothly for them.
And like I said, I just really, really appreciate this. You know, it's kind of one of those afterthoughts. When you realize that you need to put your face somewhere in that book. Now, most of the people that I work with are not like the super big celebrity brands, so we're not necessarily on the front cover, but having your photo in the about the author, on the back cover, on your website and social media, super duper important. So knowing all of this, Stacey, what really makes a great author headshot?
Well, it really depends on the content of what your book is about. That's where I always start first.
Okay.
If you're going to be writing a book about something pretty serious like saving the world through social entrepreneurship or the joys of salsa dancing, there's two different expressions and two different tones that you are bringing to the table. So I think it's really important to make sure that you infuse the essence of what that book is about, and your author is the doorway. I mean, there's the cover is the doorway, but the author is really the endorsement, right? What the book is about. So I think it's important to kind of really set the tone. And what's great about author photos, as opposed to other photos that you may need for your business, is that you can be really creative. You could be really dramatic in that photo as well. So some of my favorite books, like suspense novels and, like really poignant dramas, you can get away with like even a black and white photo with something, with really severe lighting and, kind of more mysterious. So you could be a lot more creative when you work with the author photos.
And so it's not like a one size fits all solution.
No, not at all. It's really showing the world, what was the mind behind this brilliance, right? They get a little snapshot of what that is. It's funny. I just finished the best book called The Forgetting Time. And like 10 pages in, I was like, who wrote this? And I went to the back inside flap, and there she was. And it was such a surprise to see this beautiful young face, Sharon Guskin, to see her on the back cover. And she just was much younger than I thought, because this was such a beautifully poignant, like so seasoned. I thought she was probably 30 years older than her picture. So it really was a surprise, and it really reset the tone of my reading, because I got to see what the author was, I got to connect with the author in a different way.
Sure.
I hope that makes sense to your listeners.
Well, it certainly makes sense to me. And it definitely makes sense. A lot of my books are about outdoor recreation. Mm-hmm. Well, it's one thing when I had, my big sunglasses, my big floppy hat. That totally fits with a book about camping or fishing or even camp cooking recipes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
But then when I'm talking about some of the other titles that I have in my canon that have nothing to do with outdoor recreation, there was that incongruency in the author photo.
Exactly. You got to ditch the floppy hat on that one, girl.
Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly.
And I'll be the first to admit that I was really trying to have like one picture of me for everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you're right. With a book, that might be the only contact somebody has with you.
True. And, it's funny. I'm going to go back to this Sharon Guskin, right? Giving a little plug for her, because I looked at her picture on the back of her book, right? And when I finished the book, I was like savoring every page. I was just in tears. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, I want to read more. So I went online to see if she had written any other books, and I couldn't find anything. So I reached out to her on Facebook, and I wrote her a private message, and she actually wrote back to me.
Yay!
And she said that she's in the middle of writing her next novel, and that's the only one that's been out, and she's so happy that I enjoyed it. And I was just a total fangirl, right? But what was fun is that when I went to her Facebook page, I found a different photo. She was smiling. It showed it with her family. I mean, it was like a different side, and it was like, yay, it kind of appeased my need for more. I went to Amazon and I found her Amazon profile. It was a different picture. It was a little bit more friendly than the one for the back of the book, because the subject matter was a little mysterious, right? It's about past lives and things that were like kind of woo-woo. So she had that very kind of more serious, closed mouth, no smile, really strong eyes looking at me. But on her Amazon profile, it was smiling. So it really does make a difference that as an author, there's so many wonderful portals like Goodreads, Amazon, all these other places where you're going to need to put a photo up. So a one size fits all doesn't always work well, okay? Especially if you have more than one book out.
Or genre, sure.
Yes, exactly, yeah.
So then, Stacey, where's the line between not using one photo everywhere you might need it as an author, and then maintaining some type of congruency so you are recognizable?
Right. That's a really good question. I think that it's important to have a little variety, because if it's one photo the whole time, I think that especially over time, have you seen people who use the same photo for like 5 years?
Yeah.
That doesn't really work. And it doesn't even really work with authors too. I think, who's the one? Jack Kerouac maybe gets away with it because he only wrote the one book. Is that right? I don't know. So
Yeah.
Maybe he gets to live in that bubble of mystery. But for people who are really trying to make a living at what they do and really get their work out into the world, especially in this day and age when there's so many other resources that people can find you need to mix it up a little bit. So if you're looking for a photographer, someone to photograph you, bring a few outfits, right? And make sure that you really vary your expression. Do some smiling, do some softer smiles, do some more serious. And just, it's not a, hey, I'm going to go get my one author photo. It's no, you're going to go for a session and you're going to bring multiple outfits and you're going to, maybe go indoors, you can maybe do a background, and you want to have a variety of uses so you can use them for where it fits best.
Okay.
If you're doing a book signing, say you're doing a book signing and you want to have a banner that you're going to give to the bookstore or that you're going to bring with you while you're in person, you may want to mix it up a little bit and have a photo where it's just a little bit more inviting, right? So mix it up. That's what I would say.
So one of the things that I'm really hearing about is that if you're thinking, oh, I can do this with my camera and take a selfie for my author photo, yeah, not so much.
Unless it's a book about taking selfies. I'll let you do that.
Okay.
That'll work. But I think that, invest. It's a reflection. Like you wouldn't do your own book cover, right?
Right.
You wouldn't lay out your own book. You're hiring a professional to do that. I mean, go the extra mile and have a good photo taken and find a photographer that you know, like, and trust, because nothing is more stressful than sitting in front of someone that you don't like and they're trying to capture your expression.
Yeah.
So interview someone that you get along with, someone you'd want to have lunch with, someone you'd want to hang out with. Let them be your photographer. They're going to get to know you, and they're going to be willing to be silly and ask the questions that will get that great expression. It's really important to have that good relationship.
You know, and I couldn't agree with you more. I hired a friend who was a professional photographer. Okay, so I'm using my air quotes because she does this as a part-time business. And so, I mean, this was compensated. It wasn't like it was a friend favor trade.
Right.
But when I compare what I got from those headshots, and we did outside, a bunch of different backgrounds. I changed I changed my outfits a couple of times, but I never felt like she was really able to capture me. There's nothing exactly wrong with them. They're kind of cute, but there was none of that my soul coming through.
Yeah.
So then I went to a different photographer who used to be a professional photographer, and when she moved to Arizona, kind of gave it up. The difference there was huge. Huge. And again, these are both women who their business was taking photos.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like it was compensated. What I didn't do was I didn't grab somebody who has a nice strap.
Oh,
shoot.
Oh yeah.
And say like, hey, can you take my photo?
Right. The equipment does not equal the training. And, you know, the training is important. And I, especially the second photographer that you went to, I'm sure she had some, you know, basic skills on how to pose and what, you know, is most flattering and how to use the light properly. And so, yeah, it's really important that you know someone who kind of knows how to manipulate Mother Nature, you know.
Yeah.
Especially for you, you have to be photographed outdoors for your books. You have to. It's part of your brand.
Yes.
So
yes. And that second photographer did such a good job about like, it wasn't, you know, like this, because hello, that's like not me.
Right.
You know, it wasn't any of these like cutesy shots, but it was this really subtle, like, okay, move your head just a fraction of an inch.
Yes. Yes.
And that really made a lot of the difference.
Yes.
Yes. So you had kind of talked about this a little bit before, but how do you decide about things like to smile or not to smile, what outfits you should wear? What's the thought process that an author needs to go through before they're actually in front of the camera?
Right. Okay. So what's really important is you want to gain trust in a millisecond with people, right? So there's a couple tricks that you can do to gain immediate trust. And one of my favorite ones is, especially if you're shooting specifically for a reason, if you want people to trust you, wear your eye color. Now your eye color is interesting because if you really stare in the mirror and you get close enough and you look at your eyeball, you're going to see so many shades of that color, from the darkest dark to the lightest light. Okay. So the best trust color is something in the middle. Okay. So kind of like a mid-tone of that. You can go mid to dark. Actually, mid to dark works the best. So try to, if you're going shopping and you need to find something, bring an outfit that really has that beautiful trust color. Or find a wrap. You know, if you're a woman and you want something, find a wrap that you can put around you that exudes that color. Because it just is a beautiful reflection of your skin tone, your eyes, all of that. So, and usually your hair, if your hair is the natural color, it looks great too. So that's a really good place to start, is making sure that you have the right clothes. Now, I always say solid colors, long sleeves, just do that. It's easiest. And I like people to cover their arms because arms are the same color as your face. And sometimes arms can distract from your face if they're in a photo. For some reason, your author photo, and most author photos should be from like the chest up. Right?
Yeah.
The chest up, as you can see that I'm wearing short sleeves. It's hard to tell me now because it's kind of a skin tone that I'm wearing, but these colors right here at the bottom distract from this up here. So you want to bring all the attention to up here. So your neckline and your face, and eliminate the distraction below by covering up the arms.
Okay.
Makes sense? Yeah, so long sleeve solid colors, it just focuses all the attention on the face. Let's make it super simple.
Perfect. And then I love what you said about using the color of your eyes to help pick your colors.
Yeah.
It's really interesting that you say that, because when I look back, my favorite photos of me, I'm wearing blue. I have blue eyes.
There you go. And I bet any color of navy, like you're wearing navy now, and that's brilliant. And then like the softest pastel icy blue, anywhere in there, mixing those three together is really beautiful. Or, you know, having individual pieces together works great too. But definitely avoid patterns, stripes, checks, plaids. Avoid it. As popular as they are, avoid them. Okay, especially you men out there that are, you know, donning the plaid shirt, ditch it. Okay, just go solid for the author photo. Keep it super simple.
Perfect. I love that.
And any ad agency that is, or any publishing company will tell you the same thing. So this is like straight from the horse's mouth. So just wear solid colors.
Now, one of the things that I've seen that's like a stereotypical author photo is making you look like an attorney. And you're in front of this big, heavy bookcase.
Oh, please. No.
Like, I was looking for stock photos about author headshots for an article I was writing. And it was always these men sitting here like this in front of a big, heavy bookcase.
Well, the keyword book, I'm sure, is what brought it to the top. But yeah, avoid that, please. I mean, if you're going to be in front of a bookcase, like have it 20 feet behind you and super long lens so it's out of focus, so it's barely even noticeable. That would be the exception. But yeah, I think that works more in the academic books, maybe. If you're a professor, maybe. But I think it's a little cliche, so don't do it. Don't do it.
Yes.
You want the background to be as blown out as possible. Like, you don't even want to see sharp objects in the background. You want to make sure that the focal length of the lens is really deep, and you're not distracted by those outside elements. You want to be focused on you, period.
Okay, so Stacey just laid a whole bunch of technical stuff on us about focal length and blurry backgrounds. And hello, here's a clue, light bulb.
Okay.
This is why you hire a pro.
Thank you, yes.
Okay, like, don't think because you have the latest iPhone and you've got all these filters and you can take good Instagram shots.
Right.
That this is something that you should do for yourself.
You know, once in a while people get lucky on their iPhone. Once in a while, it's great. But don't rely on it. Just, you know, pay the extra few $100s to get it done right. Because you're going to need, this picture is going to give you a lot of legs. And you're going to need it for the length of your promotion. I mean, it's, you know, when people write a book, they don't, you know, I'm sure they realize it's a legacy. It's going to be out forever, right? So make sure it's done right.
And it's something where you're feeling good. You know, that's really important. Now, one of the things that I keep noticing as I turn my head, I keep getting the starbursts in my glasses.
Oh, yeah. There are tricks.
What's your take? Glasses, no glasses?
Okay, if you are someone that wears glasses from the moment you wake up in the morning till the moment you lay your head on the pillow, hi, Kim.
Hi.
Please wear your glasses. People will recognize you without them. And I know that you even have the rimless glasses, which are the most delicate glasses you can put on your face. But still, I think that it's part of who you are. You know, how often do you just wear your contacts?
Me? Pretty much never, because I can't find contacts that don't make me want to scratch my eyeballs out.
Well, there you go. So if that's you, I would definitely recommend wearing your glasses because it's part of your signature statement. It's part of who you are. So now, because of your glasses, it's a little trickier. But I've had people who have framed glasses, which big frames are coming back in now, which is good for my business. I had them go to an optometrist and pop the lenses out, or if they're capable of doing it themselves, they can pop the lenses out and be photographed without them. Works every time. That is just zero glare. And there's zero distortion too, especially if you have a really thick prescription and it kind of magnifies your eyes a little bit. It's a really great trick to remove that so you look natural, right? The other trick we do is we have this little thing where, here, I'll just put on these pair of glasses. Here are my little readers. And they're really dirty. Sorry about that. For some photographers, will even like tilt them a little bit. So if you're photographed straight on, you can't see that actually it goes back this way, up high off your ear. But if you're being photographed straight on, you can't even tell. So there's little tricks like that to kind of tip the glare down. But if you can get removable lenses, that always works really, really well.
And then just remember, as somebody who does wear glasses, these are the first things I put on the morning, the last thing I take off at night. But you'll notice I don't do my videos with them. Yeah. Mostly because I am kind of doing the whole selfie thing.
Right.
A selfie stick is on my list of things to buy.
You'll love it. You'll love it.
But so I don't want to try to do all of my little quickie videos and deal with my glasses all at the same time. So one of the things that I've really had to learn how to do is when I take them off, my tendency is to try to squint.
Right.
And bring everything in focus. So what you really have to do, if you've popped out your lenses, if your glasses are at a weird angle and now you can't actually see with them or can't see well, is to remember to relax these muscles.
Yeah, for sure. And I definitely, I can see it right away when people are in that situation. And I just take extra time, you know, and just really kind of walk them through, do a little breathing, because you're right. It does. The one thing, it's funny, I tell people all the time, if they show up to the studio and they say, oh gosh, I woke up and I have a pimple here, and they're all upset and they feel like their day is ruined. And I said, look, whoa, I can retouch a pimple. I can't retouch stress. You just can't retouch stress. It's impossible. So, you know, I think that you're absolutely right when it comes to that, because really if they are trying to get into focus, and I tell them just relax. If you can't see, it's okay. Just pull from your heart and just, you know, smile, let your smile just come freely, and I'll take care of the rest. You don't have to see what I'm doing.
Right. But again, hint, 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 this is why you do need to hire a professional and find somebody that you really resonate with.
Yes.
And resist the urge to say, I'm just going to go to Walmart or Sears or JCPenney's and do one of the photo studio packages.
Right.
Those are perfect if you're taking Easter photos with your kids.
Exactly. Thank you. I should hire you, Kim.
You know, I've done some of those photo packages. That was my senior photos when I graduated from high school. That was all I could afford at the time.
Right.
But the photographer knew more than just a point and click type of person, but didn't recognize things like, but she has me like doing this with my hands. Yeah. Except I had this because I was stressed and you could see it.
Yeah.
Like it was no like, relax your fingers.
Yeah.
Okay, relax these muscles. Yeah. A professional photographer will see that type of stuff before they're clicking away. And then, you can't fix stress.
Right.
Photoshop.
It's so true.
Yeah. So Stacey, are there any other must-know tips that we should know or things that we really need to know to avoid?
I think we did really good. We kind of hit a lot of things pretty thoroughly. All I can say is that this is just really an opportunity for you to make a great first impression. And just, you know, like I said, when I got so excited to like flip through and meet the author at the back of that novel I was so engrossed in, I was so happy and surprised and just like comforted to just meet her. I felt like I was meeting her. So treat it like you really get to meet the people who are reading your material, because whether you're writing a novel or whether you're writing a book, a business book, or, you know, a nonfiction book, they still want to know who came up with this. Where did this knowledge come from? where did this mind think these things? And it's your opportunity to say, hi, I'm the one. Right? So put intention and purpose into why you're being photographed and show up in that space. And a good photographer should be able to capture that for you.
Yes. Yes, absolutely. You know, one of the things that I always share with my people is remember when you're writing your book and that mental monster comes in about, well, who am I to write this? You know, I always tell you, you're the sum total of your knowledge and your experience and your training and your point of view. And that makes you uniquely qualified to write your book. It also makes you uniquely qualified to be your author photo.
Yes.
Don't cheapen out on me and go with no photo.
Right.
Or, you know, we've all seen the TV shows of, you know, the author who isn't the picture on the book.
Right.
Okay, nobody does that. Like, it's okay. You can find a photographer who you will resonate with, who will help you with all of this. Get those good photos that you can really use. It's worth it.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, Stacey, thank you so much. And I know, as always, I'm sure you have a little gifty for us.
I do. I have, you know, I don't just talk about author photos, but for entrepreneurs, experts, and authors, there's generally about 5 different photos that they can choose from that they may need for their mini promotional items, right? So if you go to my website, myimageartist.com, or you can go to staceycanfield.com. They'll take you to the same place. If you scroll down to the bottom of my homepage, you'll see the 5 must-have photos every expert needs to be the face of their brand. And even though some of your listeners may not feel like they're building a business, but their book is building a brand for them. So you are in charge of your brand. So these are 5 little tips that'll show you exactly what you need to get done when you go talk to your photographer. And what's great is you can just show your photographer these specific photos, and they'll give them a little bit of a direction on what you would be needing for your promotions.
Yes, absolutely.
It's myimageartist.com.
myimageartist.com.
Yep.
And the other thing I just want to leave us all with is that Stacey's resources are really great. And once you kind of embodied these, sometimes they make all the photos you take better. Oh, well, I got the privilege of sitting in on a couple of classes that Stacey taught about, like, just how to position your body when you're taking photos. Girl, the only thing I remember is no dead arms.
Yeah.
So you've got one arm around your body, and then you just take your other arm and you put it on your hip.
Yep. Or on the top of your thigh, or up here, whatever you want. It's like no dead arms.
Yes, I no longer look like a hot dog standing there. Yeah, okay. When I got married in October, that was it was your voice in my head. And elbow out, and you know, and a lot of my wedding photos still look goofy because I'm laughing and making faces, but you know what? I never looked like a hot dog in my wedding dress.
Well, you know what's great about it is it shows off your beautiful little side, you know, your little hips, you know. It looks very flattering for women when they can show that little keyhole and show their actual body. So that's good.
Yes. So I know that getting professional photography, that can trigger a lot of us. It can be a lot of stress, you know, because when you take your selfie, you're seeing it, you can delete it. I just went through 30 before I found one that I like. And you're trusting somebody else behind the camera to capture your essence.
Yeah. So true. So true. So just find someone you like and you want to hang out with. That's so important. It doesn't matter. Like, I mean, pedigrees are nice. Degrees are nice. I have a lot of them, but really take the time, take the effort to not just do a phone call conversation. Ask if you can maybe meet them and get to know them and just feel their essence. Because who is it that said, somebody that says, you're responsible for the energy that you bring into the room. The same is true for the photographer. So make sure they're not cranky.
Yeah.
You know, make sure they're happy and they can really set the tone and they can really make space for your essence to come forward. It's not about them being this famous photographer. It's about you having the spotlight on you. Okay, because there can be a lot of ego in my business, unfortunately. But you have to set all that aside and make space for this beautiful person in front of you. That's my motto.
Oh no, I love that. And you know, when I was doing these 2 sets of headshots, I had actually interviewed some other photographers and decided not to.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, and it wasn't, that resonance just wasn't there. So I decided to go a different way.
Yep.
Got great photos, especially from the second one, because we had more of that connection.
Exactly.
Yeah. So Stacey, thank you again. I really appreciate this.
You're so welcome.
You
I'm
can
so
get
honored.
Gifty at myimageartist.com, and I thank you. This is going to make all the difference.
Oh, yay. Well, let me know if there's anything else I can do for you and your tribe.
Will do. Thanks, Stacey.
All right. Mwah. Bye.
Bye.